Did you know the average person spends 4 years of his life looking down at his cell phone? Kinda ironic, ain't it? How these touch screens can make us lose touch. But it's no wonder in a world filled with iMacs, iPads, and iPhones, so many eyes, so many selfies, not enough us's and we's. See, technology has made us more selfish and separate than ever. 'Cause while it claims to connect us, connection has gotten no better. And let me express first, Mr. Zuckerberg, not to be rude, but you should reclassify Facebook to what it is, an anti-social network. 'Cause while we may have big friend lists, so many of us are friendless all alone. 'Cause friendships are more broken than the screens on our very phones. We sit at home on our computers measuring self-worth by numbers of followers and likes. Ignoring those who actually love us, it seems we'd rather write an angry post and talk to someone who might actually hug us. Am I bugging? You tell me, 'cause I asked a friend the other day, let's meet up face to face. They said, all right, what time you wanna Skype? I responded with OMG, SRS, and then a bunch of SMHs and realized, what about me? Do I not have the patience to have conversation without abbreviation? This is the generation of media overstimulation. Chats have been reduced to snaps. The news is 140 characters. Videos are 6 seconds at high speed. And you wonder why ADD is on the rise faster than 4G LTE. But get a load of this. Studies show the attention span of the average adult today is 1 second lower than that of a goldfish. So if you're one of the few people or aquatic animals that have yet to click off or close this video, congratulations. Let me finish by saying you do have a choice, yes. But this one, my friends, we cannot autocorrect. We must do it ourselves. Take control or be controlled, make a decision. Me? No longer do I want to spoil a precious moment by recording it with a phone. I'm just gonna keep them. I don't want to take a picture of all my meals anymore. I'm just gonna eat them. I don't want the new app, the new software, or the new update. And if I want to post an old photo, who says I have to wait until Thursday? I'm so tired of performing in the pageantry of vanity and conforming to this accepted form of digital insanity. Call me crazy, but I imagine a world where we smile when we have low batteries. 'Cause that'll mean we'll be one bar closer to humanity.
Human beings are biologically engineered to be social creatures. We thrive on social interactions to maintain a healthy mind and life. The way that humans communicate socially has evolved throughout history, but has risen to a new extreme in the past decade. With technology constantly evolving, new forms of media appear, which couples with new forms of communication. Social media is one of the most revolutionary forms of this new media, and its existence has had an everlasting effect on society. The term social media is defined by Merriam-Webster as forms of electronic communication such as websites for social networking and microblogging, through which users create online communities to share information, ideas, personal messages, and other content. The world's first personal use computer was created in 1971. 26 years later, the first recognizable social media site, 6 Degrees, was created. This site gave users the opportunity to make their own profile and become online friends with other users. In the years after that, social media exploded in popularity. Sites like MySpace and LinkedIn were invented, which allowed users to communicate with people all over the world. In 2005, YouTube was invented. In 2006, Facebook and Twitter. There are currently over 3 billion social media users all over the world. The most widely used social media sites: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Experts are constantly debating over the possible negative effects that social media can have on the way that humans communicate. There are many different arguments that are made to say that social media really isn't social at all. In fact, it's the opposite. In this discussion, we will address the various issues that surround social media use, along with the benefits. My name is Jade Young, and I am the leader moderator. On the pro side, to my left, we have Ashley Jankowski, a fitness blogger and personal trainer, and Angelica Nwandu, social media expert and founder of The Shade Room. On the con side, to my right, Allie Whaler, a middle school teacher and mother of two. Next, Professor Adam Oswald, professor of psychology at Harvard University. And lastly, child psychologist Dr. Leah Burns.
Hello, I am Ashley Jankowski. I'm 33 years old. I work full-time as a personal trainer. I joined the social media site LinkedIn my senior year of college in 2007. LinkedIn allowed me to communicate with a lot of people in my field of study, and it ended up getting me the job that I have currently. According to the operator of the website GoToGuy, Randy Dormeyer, LinkedIn is a social network specifically designed for career business professionals to connect. Over 65 million professionals use LinkedIn to cultivate their careers and businesses. Unlike other social networks in which you might become friends with someone and anyone, LinkedIn is about building strategic relationships. Although, believe it or not, most of my income comes from just my social media posts. I started off posting videos of my workout routines and my diets on YouTube, and I decided to create an Instagram page in 2014 because it came out with video. My YouTube page was made for fun, but then it gained a lot of popularity and it gave me 5.3 million subscribers. And my Instagram page ended up reaching 4.6 million followers. And not only do I get paid for those posts, but I also am making the world a healthier place, and I'm trying to motivate and influence a healthy lifestyle. Social media has been a great business technique for me because it has brought in a lot of clientele for my personal training business. Emma Urbanek, an influencer of fitness, said that there are over 180 million users of fitness on Instagram. Influencer marketing is a great way to connect with your audience.
My name is Angelica Nwandu. I am 29 years old and I am the founder of The Shade Room. The Shade Room is an Instagram-based media company focused on celebrities, group, fashion models, branding, music, and way much more. The site has been branched out into covering politics, and it also focuses on Black cultural news. The Shade Room has managed to receive over 15 million subscribers across all platforms and has become a huge force in the media. It has also managed to break national stories before mainstream publications. According to Christina Newberry, journalist for Hootsuite, social media offers an easy commitment way for potential customers to express interest in your business and products. I am a social media expert who has realized social media has changed our world for the better. People that have brands that they would like to promote often tag the Shade Room in their posts so it can be posted to our Instagram page. People do this because once it is posted, it allows the world to see their talent and way much more. It also gives them an opportunity to network with others worldwide. Most importantly, the world now relies on the Shade Room as their social media news. Not many people decide to go buy newspapers or actually read print news. The journalists that work for the Shade Room make sure their followers have the current up-to-date news or even the up-to-date gossip. You can consider the Shade Room to also be an advertisement page because we promote everything that is going on in the world on our timeline, including crimes. There are people all over the world with talent, and they get discovered just by a repost of their video on the Shade Room because many celebrities follow this page. Social media has changed my life for the greater good, and it also changed the lives of others. Not many would have thought that they would be making the money they are making now just by a simple post on Instagram and receiving money for every click that a follower clicks them.
Hello, my name is Allie Waller. I am an English teacher at Mill Middle School. I am a very happy mother to a 15-year-old daughter, Sarah, and a 7-year-old son, Max. And I see the effects of social media every day between myself, my students, and in my home with my own children. And in my experience, social media has negatively impacted all of those things. As a teacher, I am constantly having to deal with students being on their phones during class, Snapchatting me and their friends, bullying each other, cheating on assignments and tests, which are all distracting them from what they should be focused on during school hours. In fact, 31% of teens say that using social media during homework time reduces the quality of their work, and students who use social media have an average GPA of 3.06, while non-users had an average GPA of 3.82, according to a study done by procon.org. I see, in addition to my students in school and my home life, it is absolutely terrifying to me that my 14-year-old daughter is on social media. Sarah, as a developing young lady, is not always the most conservative in her posts, especially on Instagram and Twitter. My husband and I have had to sit down with her much younger than we would have liked to and explain to her the dangers of social media and the serious consequences they can have not only on your life, but in your future life, if you are not careful. I worry for my daughter's safety online, but also the effects social media has on our home life as well. My children almost always are constantly glued to an electronic device in their hand. And I will admit that I do spend downtime on social media, but to have a simple conversation with my kids nowadays, it seems like they have no social skills, especially at the dinner table. An Amberg school study found that percentage of people reporting less face-to-face time with family in their homes rose from 8% in 2000 to 34% in 2011, while 47% of people admitted to using social media or texting during meals instead of chatting with friends and family. The negative impacts on social media as a whole is abundant. There are many dangers that we face by having social media accounts, and it presents an entire range of risks one can subject themselves to, including catfishing, privacy infractions, to the simple fake news and propaganda being spread all over. You really run the risk of harming your future endeavors and your future careers if you are not careful about what you put on your social media accounts.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Oswald. I'm 29 years old, and I'm a professor at Harvard University. Being the youngest member of the faculty, many doubt I have much to offer on the subject of psychology, but what may seem as a disadvantage, I use to my benefit. Growing up, during the explosion of the internet, along with the eventual creation and infestation of social media, I've been able to experience how society has adapted to suit the digital age with a whole new world of possibilities. According to the Twitter company's 2018 metrics review, at the end of 2010, Twitter had 10 million active monthly users in the United States. Fast forward to 2018, where Twitter currently has 326 million active monthly users. Social media has allowed us to become more connected than ever. Over 3 billion people worldwide have used social media regularly. 300 hours of content is uploaded to YouTube every single hour. Instant messaging, Snapchat streaks, and constant notification from active friend and celebrity accounts. It's a lot for one person to focus on. So much so that it may make someone not focus on themselves and their own well-being. Laura Jacobson, a psychologist from North Shore University, recently shared information she compiled to her blog post, reporting approximately 90% of teenagers worldwide use social media on a daily basis. Constantly being connected with others through social media has created a dependency that is unhealthy for our always changing society. It has become so ingrained in our modern culture, it is almost impossible to propose a change without receiving any sort of backlash. But we need to make a change before the opportunity slips away.
My name is Dr. Leah Burns. I'm a doctor at a psychiatric facility in Boston, near Boston University, where I graduated. And in the past 20 years, me and other psychiatric professionals have seen a spike in not only crime, but an impact on children and their self-esteem. I believe that social media has a negative impact on children and teenagers, and even adults. 264 million Americans use some form of social media. That's 81% of the country. Global social media use is 40%. With an increase of social media and people using it, there are more and more cases of youths losing confidence around the time they start puberty. 53% of girls around the age of 13 in this country are dissatisfied with their bodies. 80% of women and 34% of men are unhappy with their appearance and show signs of low self-esteem. 70% of women with a normal body mass index and weight wish they were thinner because of social media posts and the pressure that they put on them. It is a known fact that social media can cause anxiety and depression, which can lead to eating disorders and possible death. Anorexia is the #1 fatal illness in recorded history. With the number of patients increasing the past 30 years, I believe social media is a big part in that spike. The Girl Scouts of America conducted a study in 2010 which surveyed 1,000 girls aged 13 to 17, and an astonishing 9 out of 10 girls feel pressured by fashion magazines and social media posts. And a study by Stanford University concluded that 96% of girls with an existing eating disorder use media outlets that lead them to pro-anorexia sites that are found on the web and through social media. Social media is negatively affecting people of all ages with this obtainable vision of perfection, fitness, and beauty that everyone should look like, when social media should be promoting diversity, empathy, and displaying a healthy image. And also, crime has gone up in social media use. For instance, in 1999, Osama bin Laden said to CNN when he was asked, "What should we expect from you in the future?" He said, "You will find out on this media, on the American media, God willing."
Thank you, guys. We will now open up the panel for discussion with a series of questions. Firstly, how do you all think that social media has affected the way that people communicate?
Personally, I believe that face-to-face communication, especially among children and teenagers in the most important parts of their lives, are being seriously affected due to oversaturation from social media. A survey conducted on American adults of over 220,000 people found that people 18 and 24 years of age receive over 109 text messages per day, which equal 320 text messages per month. With that kind of interaction in between, with that kind of interaction based solely around social media, the face-to-face interaction between people has greatly diminished.
I personally think that it opens people to different networks. According to the Journal of Applied Development Psychology, they said that college freshmen use social media networking sites to build networks of new friends, feeling socially integrated at their new schools and reduce their risk of dropping out. So like when you go to a new school, you obviously want to go make friends. So they're like connecting with their friends before they meet them. So like they basically know that they're like gonna have someone before they enter the school.
Right, and I see that with my students a lot. People are always posting things on their social media sites, but unfortunately it's not what their real life is about. So when new kids come to school and they try to add all these people on Facebook, or all these new students, they see that, oh wow, like she's wearing camo pants and flip-flops. Like I need to go out and, get camo pants and flip-flops to match it with what the lifestyle of the students at this new school is. And I see with my daughter all the time, she's constantly trying to be what she sees on her social media. And I think that definitely impacts the way that she communicates with us, because myself and my husband try to tell her, you have to be a little more conservative. You can't be showing everything for the whole public to see, keep yourself covered. And she sees that that's what celebrities do. And now we have this rift because she doesn't feel comfortable communicating with us because of what we tell her to put on her social media.
I get that, but she probably doesn't feel comfortable because you guys are her parents. When children do go to school, they feel more comfortable talking to their peers. They won't hesitate to probably tell their best friend something and stuff like that. And that's probably why when they're home, they're constantly on their phone, because they still want that feeling instead of feeling like, oh, I have to limit what I say in the house because I'm around mom and dad. So I feel like social media has affected people in a good way when it came to communicating. There are a lot of people around the world that are shy and they don't like to communicate because they just don't feel comfortable about talking about certain things. They feel limited to what they need to say. And according to the Knowledge Review, it's a magazine, it's an online magazine, Professor Shatan Braemar states that social media creates an opportunity for people to interact with each other in a way that is helpful, and it's essential to motivate people. Granted, in-person communication may work for most people. In other situations, it may not work for others. It doesn't make the conversation lazy. It can, but sometimes when you're communicating behind a phone, people could type paragraphs, and send it without feeling any type of way. And it makes the person more comfortable than another form of communication as in person.
And also you said writing out paragraphs. It's very easy to cyberbully when paragraphs are being written and you're behind a computer screen. And girls are particularly at risk for cyberbullying, but boys obviously have this problem too. And cyberbullying is associated with depression, anxiety, and elevates the risk of suicidal thoughts. And also, children need more face time. Social interactions and skills require daily practice, even for teens and adults. It's difficult to build empathy and compassion behind a computer screen. And this makes them engaged more in human interaction. And these skills that they build will last their entire lives.
Back to the cyberbullying thing. Actually, cyberbullying is less effective than actual face-to-face bullying. According to Paula Green, she's an anti-bullying advocate. She said that cyberbullying has one advantage: you can notice it and save the evidence. If taking their phone away isn't an option, you can install iPhone monitoring app Pumic, and it allows you to basically just see everything they post on Instagram, Facebook, their text messages. So you can completely control your children's actions on social media. It's just whether or not you're trying to get involved and you're trying to stop the whole bullying thing, trying to take away the whole sexting and bullying and everything.
Anyone else?
I would say my problem is with online communication. It's easier for someone to be cyberbullied because people take their internet persona more seriously than their real life persona. Because online, you can create who you want to be. You can put what you want to do, what your likes are, and exactly what you are. And people on the internet love to take you down for supporting what you like. And you can never escape that on the internet because people have a distorted view of other people's lives through a computer screen.
But I'm saying their parents should be getting involved.
Mm-hmm.
They should be monitoring what they're doing just so it doesn't become something bad,
Mm-hmm.
If you see that your child is bullying someone else, then you should step up and tell them they're done, you're cut off, or even take their phone away. Do what you have to do to make them stop.
Of course, I agree with that.
And
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
when it comes to the other child is bullying your child, you can contact their parents and have them step up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like social media just goes to, Mom, Dad, I want an iPhone for Christmas. And a kid could be 7 years old today with an iPhone X going to school, and parents don't expect kids to be downloading these apps, following the new trends especially if they're taking their phones to school. So as a parent, you have full control over what your child does until a certain age. And by giving your children these devices, that allows them to download the app and be more conservative with the world and go online. And sometimes as children, they hide it from you, even if they don't want you to know that they have social media. So I feel like if you're gonna allow your children to even have the device in general, then you're allowing them to be on these social networks, even undisguised.
And in a perfect world, I agreed that parents should step in and they should be completely involved in what their kids are doing on social media. However, that's not the case. Parents, whether we want to believe it or not, don't care about their children sometimes, don't care about what they're posting online, don't care about what they're saying to other people. There's just a variety of other things going on, and that's not a priority. There actually is an app called MobiSip, and it's what this company does, and it makes parental controls for phones, tablets, computers, apps, so you can put something on. So like you cannot be looking at inappropriate content on Twitter or on Facebook. Like my 7-year-old son Max, he does not have a phone. He's got like a VTech smartphone that's for educational purposes, but I don't see a reason for him to have a phone or any social media until he understands what he can post and what is dangerous and the consequences of those things.
Right, and it should be left to adults and to like not the younger generation. Like they shouldn't even be on that, just because like they're not like as smart enough to know what is going on. You know what I mean?
Agree
Like,
to that too,
they-
but there's
That's okay. Go
there's
ahead.
also parents. Kids nowadays have talents, and social media is so strong that they make Instagram pages for their children. So
Right.
their child could probably be a dancer, and like I said again, it goes back to the parents. You can control if you have that
Exactly.
relationship with your kid, you can control their Instagram pages. You don't always have to use social media in a negative way. It's if you go on there with the intentions of doing that, but you can start using Instagram or Facebook as a way of branding your child if they do have a talent and they do want to be put out there.
To go off that, you said that there's a lot of things on social media, but there's also a spike in crime in being live streamed. 20-year-old Woodison Wongtale chose to stream the death of his 11-month-old daughter on Facebook, enabling the baby's mother, who feared was about to leave him, and view this heinous act. The crime was turned off as he took his own life, but the footage was left on the internet for 24 hours and was viewed 500,000 times. So, I mean, if 500,000 people viewed that in 24 hours, it should have been taken down or reported in the first 15 minutes.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the next question. Allie, do you think that children should be able to use social media, and if so, at what age?
I do think that children should have social media. Most parents aren't aware, though, that the legal age for children to have social media is 13, and that's the minimum age for most social media sites. And there are two major reasons for that. First, 13 years of age is set by Congress in the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which prohibits websites from collecting information on children younger than 13 years old without parental permission. Secondly, the official terms of service of many popular sites now mirror the COPPA regulations and state that 13 years is the minimum age to sign up and have a profile. This is the minimum age for anyone on sites such as MySpace and Facebook, but there are many sites designed for pre-adolescents and younger kids that do not have age restrictions, such as any Disney sites, Club Penguin, Neopets, and others. It is important that parents evaluate the sites that which their child chooses to participate in to be sure that the site is appropriate for their child. And with sites without age stipulations, there's no room for negotiations. Parents should evaluate the situation via active conversation with their children. In general, if a website specifies minimum age for use in its terms of service, the American Academy of Pediatrics encourages that be the age to be respected. So I do think that at 13, you are a teenager. You're developing into a young adult, and you are seeing things and seeing more things online, especially, and you're trying to flourish and become something. And I do think that there are ways that social media can help, but I also do agree that it does hurt their image of themselves if they are exposed to inappropriate things too early.
Okay, so do you think that there's a way to teach children how to navigate social media, specifically in an educational realm, since you're a teacher?
I do, and I use social media all the time in my classroom. I use YouTube videos because for most children, they retain information by looking at something, by visualizing something. So me standing up in front of a class and lecturing for 40 minutes, I'm not going to get much achieved. But if I show a YouTube video that's engaging, that's interesting, that's educational, they're more likely to absorb that information. And I think it really is like a powerful tool if it's used correctly. It's a lot easier if we're learning about Athens in my English class. I can go on my Instagram and I can type in Athens and all these pictures of Athens will come up. And I can show kids present day what Athens looks like, and then we can go back and we can compare to what past tense Athens looks like, just as an example. We can learn about lots of people's customs and religions, ways of life, historical events, all through YouTube in an educational way. So as long as you have a channel that is all for education, I would absolutely let my children and my students, I would recommend them to watch them. But anything else in inappropriate content, I don't believe.
I agree, but I feel like you can also, besides YouTube, because like you said, YouTube is for videos. How old are you again? I apologize.
I'm 32.
Okay, so I'm 29. I don't have no kids yet. So I feel like when I do have kids, social media is going to it's not going to die down anytime soon. It's just going to probably expand with the more knowledge of people using that. So I feel like I'm not saying teach your kid how to have an Instagram or a Facebook account at 6 years old, but I feel like because they are going to be exposed to it when they are probably in school, because there is going to be a parent that lets their kid use it even if you don't let them use it. So they probably might be exposed to it that way. So I feel like it does just need to be an awareness in everybody's home at this point, just to teach them what to do and not to do. If you don't know this person, don't follow this person. You can block people, and sometimes nowadays you're getting your kids iPads and stuff, so it's not going to be that hard to program that in your brain, because studies do show that technology, TV, and stuff like that is a manipulation for a child's brain. So you can teach them the right ways to use it from an early age, so they will know when they get older, like if somebody's teaching them to do something wrong on that, they won't follow through with it.
Good. Okay. So Dr. Burns, I'd like to ask you, what kind of effects has social media usage shown on society, specifically in children?
In children, well, 63% of Americans log on Facebook daily, and 40% log in multiple times a day. There's even a scale to measure this addiction, and it's called the Berg Facebook Addiction Scale. And wait, you said children?
Yeah. You're a child psychologist, so.
Okay. Well, like I said earlier, 9 out of 10 girls feel pressured from fashion magazines, according to the 2010 Girl Scout of America study that was conducted. And also 53% of girls around the age of 13 are dissatisfied with their body. So I think that around that age of 13 and 14, children shouldn't be worried about what they look like. And at the start of puberty, half the girls that are in sports drop out of sports because they feel like the media projects a certain type of femininity, and I guess certain sports they don't feel feminine in, and yeah, that's it.
Anyone? So what are some of the benefits that can be seen through the use of social media? Ladies?
I can answer that question. Social media gives measurable results in sales, leads, and branding. Being that social media is worldwide, it enables you to reach a large number of people at a very low cost. Social media networks is dynamic and it's consistently changing. There are 3.196 billion global social media users in 2018, which equals 42% penetration. Adults that go online, ages specifically 18 to 24, are most likely to follow a brand on a social networking website. And 71% of the consumers who end up getting good results from social media service will recommend it to others, and they're more likely to use it if they also get the same results. Also, visual content is 40 times more likely to get shared on social media rather than a written out content. So if you see like your favorite Fashion Over jeans or something on Instagram and you really like it, you're more likely to share the jeans rather than Fashion Over posting a blog that they're gonna have jeans coming out without any visual content.
As a fitness influencer, I think that just showing the progress of how to live a healthy lifestyle is a really big benefit, just because not many people, I'm a personal trainer, so I went through school and I know all the ins and outs of everything. So when I was young, I always wanted to know the correct way to have a healthy diet, healthy workout routine and everything. And that's what, like, literally YouTube could give you. Like, if you have the right person, you're watching the right videos, you can learn every single thing that you need to just off of social media. And also, it's a good way to get your name out there, brand yourself, just everything. Give you educational videos and meal plans, whatever you need, like YouTube video, you can just watch one video and you understand.
And being that people have many occupations around the world too, that's another way to brand out. So if you're a dentist, you can post something online about what's going on in your company. If you're a fitness trainer, you can post that, you know, I have no clients right now who needs a fitness trainer, stuff like that. It's a faster way. It's so beneficial to use. And people, like you said, in today's society, they are lazy physically, but you cannot be lazy when it comes to using your phone. So if you are going to be on your phone on social media, try to utilize it in a way where it's benefiting your life instead of, you know, comparing it to others.
Right. Well, being on your phone, you say, is not lazy, but I see my students not doing their homework, not studying for tests, and they're on their phone. And to me, that's a lazy behavior. If you're not focusing on one thing because you're too wrapped up in what's going on the screen, like that, to me, that's just a negative.
It could be used as a distraction.
Right.
So do you think that children can be taught to use social media for educational purposes, follow motivational speakers?
I can, definitely, but I would absolutely caution, it is the internet, and you don't know what is right and what is wrong. And especially in today's day and age and the society we live in and the fake news culture that we've created as a whole, you don't know what is true and what is not true. So, again, you can't be lazy. You have to dig deeper into that research to find out what is the truth, because you could be, you know, doing exercises online, but you could potentially hurt yourself because someone who is not a trained personal trainer could be, oh, I'm just going to start a YouTube channel because I like to work out, and then they end up teaching people how to do things wrong, and then kids or anyone is watching that and they're thinking they're doing something right.
I feel like it's a way of sharing your expertise. Social media gives you an opportunity to talk about what you know and what you have been known for. And I've looked this up on from a social marketing strategist, Lauren Freeman. She believes that there's people that has so many talents around the world and they do post it on YouTube, and what may not work for you and may work for somebody else, because there are over billions of people on using the internet. And when you're sharing your expertise, it will allow you to build your brand, and it can allow you to make money. When I said that being on your phone isn't being lazy, I meant if you're using it for the right purposes. So if you are on your phone and you're just texting all day and stuff like that, obviously we do know that's lazy. But if you're trying to make money over social media for something that you actually care about, and it can benefit for your family also, not only yourself, you can have a job and still be having a side business on social media.
It's a great business technique, and like it literally brought in so much clientele to me. So like it helped out my business as a whole. Not only am I posting videos on social media, but also like people are coming to me now, my actual job, my workplace. So that helped that also.
There are over 40 million businesses on Facebook alone, small businesses at least, people trying to come to our rise. And you can use little things like Facebook by promoting a GoFundMe, put your status as public, and if people see what you're having a cause for, it can be used that way.
The only con that I can see with putting your expertise and yourself out there on YouTube or anything like that is, I would say, with the risk of millions of billions of different people, they're all trying to achieve the same thing. So if someone sees your fitness YouTube page, they could take your style, your information, and all of your statistics and copy it to their own and make a successful business using all your information with less time put into it. So the only con I would see is just the risk of someone stealing your ideas. And it's just an impossible landscape to try and claim your ideas.
The only advice I can give being a social media expert on that is don't talk about it until it's finalized. You get what I'm saying? Like,
course.
work behind the scenes. Don't go on your social media page and post, I just found the formula for the Krabby Patty, and you don't even know if it's true, and you post it and everybody's stealing it. It could be true. You don't know yet. You didn't go take the time out for yourself, and now somebody knows it's right because they actually took the time out. And that's
course.
what I meant by the, laziness on the social media.
I would say the younger audience is very impressionable. They're a lot smarter than a lot of people would say the younger crowd would be. Since the implication of social media, it is, I would say, made a lot of people more technologically savvy. But with children watching, they don't understand what fair use might be or any of that kind of stuff. So they may not take your advice, and they may not know that they need to take the steps and wait until everything is finalized to actually go forth with it. So they may put themselves in a situation where they may not be able to back themselves out of.
All right, so what are some of the negative aspects of social media?
There are social anxieties and stress that are associated with projecting this perfect image, constantly projecting this unrealistic and unachievable perception of perfection. There is a stress hormone that is released when social media usage has gone overboard, and the stress hormone is called cortisol, and from heavy social media usage over time can damage your gastrointestinal tract, which is your gut, and it opens the door to an immunoinflammatory response in the body and the brain, leading to depression and anxiety. And there is a rise in addiction to social media. There is a scale called the Berg Facebook Addiction Scale. In the United Kingdom in 2012, 53% of people who use social media said that they have changed their behavior, and 51% said that they behaved negatively because of decline in confidence due to the unfair comparisons to others.
Well, according to Sharon Jason of USA Today, social media can help improve life satisfaction, stroke recovery, memory retention, and overall well-being of providing users with a large social group. Additionally, friends on social media can have a contagion effect, promoting and helping with exercise, dieting, and smoking cessation goals. So basically, it can help you get out of bad habits, and it literally, there's things that can make it satisfying for you. Like, there are things on social media that are good for you that you can, it helps just, you as a person overall, in a way. I'm trying to, word it right. But
You use the word satisfying, but addiction is the feeling of being satisfied.
I would agree
Right.
with that. Social media addiction isn't classified under the mental health board, but internet addiction is a classified mental disorder. And it's only just a few steps away from social media addiction.
There's been instances where people have stopped smoking because of friends on Facebook and other people around the world trying to cut it out. There's commercials and there's advertisements all over social media that are just showing how negative smoking is. So
And
Very good point.
to piggyback off of what you said, I allow my Shade Room staff to post motivational quotes a lot. 2 days ago, my PR posted on the Shade Room. It was a meme that says social media has us comparing our lives instead of being thankful for who and what we are. And the reason why that was posted is to always, since you're constantly on the phone, we know you're going to scroll past this. That's just a heads up and a motivational quote to let you know, just because of what you see on this doesn't mean that you need to take that and run with it. Be the type of person you are, mental health, and it's just to always show that it's not always something negative that's going to come out for you coming onto this website and coming onto our Instagram page, following us and promoting it to others. Just like you said, people stop smoking by looking at ads. Sometimes they see the better way that the before and after this person was smoking. Look at their lives now, and look at this person's life now that they stopped smoking, and you could become that person. It may not work for everybody, but it does work for some people.
To
course.
go off of that, you say, look at people before they stop smoking and then after.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, there is a bunch of weight loss, I guess, social media posts where it's before and after, before they lost the weight and after they lost the weight, and they only project that, but it doesn't tell you what happens in between, and that in between is not shown. And so children and adults are just shown, okay, she did this, and she did and in this amount of time, or he did it in this amount of time, but they're not shown how. And so they are just confused as to really how that happens. And I think social media, I don't know, I definitely think it has a negative impact on just how people see themselves, more than anything else. I mean, because anorexia and bulimia have been around for a long time, but the spike has been astronomical. No, it's fine.
Well, now social media, they're starting to do like movements on social media for this, like the whole anorexic and everything. Like they're trying to show that everyone is beautiful in their skin. According to social media blogger Mazu, the body positivity movement has made some huge strides towards helping people feel more confident in their skins. And big brands are taking notice of this and changing the way they show representation, from committing to never photoshopping to using a wide range of age and ethnicity in their campaigns, to the first male cover girl spokesmodel. So there's like, you see advertisements all the time over social media of people overcoming like this fear of like your body image. Like they're trying to show that it's okay to, no matter what you look like you're beautiful. Like it's all over social media now. They're doing this right now.
Okay,
course.
Ashley, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Are you aware of the amount of editing in Photoshop that some influencers use in their posts?
I am aware, and like the difference between my posts on Instagram and YouTube is that I'm showing the progress the process it takes to get the progress. Whereas like they're just showing pictures of them with revealing everything. And it's just like you have to know who to follow. It's in the hands of the person with the screen. Like they have to know who to follow, and that could also be a way for the parents to get involved and tell them.
The
Of
Shade
course.
Room staff also, just to spread some knowledge, it's titled The Shade Room because it's shade. Sometimes people say that's being thrown on the page. Just like you said, there's people that's been photoshopped, and some people don't know. If the Shade Room comes across a picture of Nicki Minaj looking a whole different type of way, we're gonna post it and let you know that she looks this way, why this is not the real Nicki Minaj. And the shade's gonna be in the comments, but it's just to show, like, don't let everything manipulate you. Like, we know that this is fake, and we don't have a problem as journalists posting it to the world, because as journalists, that is our job, to tell the truth.
Anyone else?
Just to go off what you said, I think it's that every body is beautiful. I think it's by Aerie. Yeah. I mean, that's a really great organization, but
And CoverGirl also.
oh yeah, but us in our age, when we were 13, we didn't really experience a lot of social media, I guess, because we're older. But 13-year-olds now, like Allie said, are going on social media all the time. So it's hard to compare how older people are about their bodies as opposed to like how younger people are, because they have grown up only knowing this particular way of beauty, I guess. Like 20 years ago, the average BMI difference between a model and a regular person was 8%. Now the difference is 23%.
So, Dr. Burns, you mentioned earlier that there's some addictive qualities associated to social media. So do you believe that social media is addictive? I know that Adam mentioned just the internet is known to be, but
Yeah, I definitely think people check in to social media all the time just because of the image of perfection that they have to keep up. No matter how many campaigns there can be a million campaigns. There's always going to be people that compare themselves. I mean, adults do it, and so obviously children are going to do it. And it's great that they're taking initiative, but I don't think that's the way to, I guess, change this problem. I don't know how the way is.
The reason why I correlate internet addiction and social media addiction is because social media brings out just brief moments of happiness. When you open your phone and scroll through whatever you're scrolling through, it makes you feel good. But as soon as you put it away, it's gone, and you're going to bring it out maybe in the next minute or two. It's just a constant putting down and bringing back up of just feeding that feeling of just needing that happiness. And that's just where addiction falls into it, of just a psychological movement of just needing to constantly check it, even though you're just looking at the same thing you possibly looked at 10 minutes ago.
It's kind of like the same with like television though, like, you know, like
Of course.
like you mentioned, Allie, that like your kids in your class will like stare at the screen when like you're trying to give them a lecture and they won't listen. It's like the same thing. A screen could be addicting, but like
Of course.
the way you go about it and the age that you start it is all a factor in it.
I'd say the same arguments were made about television when it first became prevalent in every American household, or just every household in general. There was too many people focusing on it, and we were facing the same problem. So,
Well, 90% of Americans are addicted to television because that is something you will leave your baby down to watch TV, to relax and stuff like that. So they are already addicted to the screen. So bringing a phone into it is just obviously a smaller television at this point because you can watch TV on your phone. So it only becomes an addiction with the social media part if you let it, because you can have a device without Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram on it. It's just something that they feel comfortable with and they're more secure with it, and they like to connect with others. You can also use social media with connecting. There's probably family members that don't live by you. Your children probably have cousins that they can't see every day, and they can use this tool to connect with them also.
of course,
And-
yeah, I agree with that, and that's exactly what I listed as one of my pros to social media is reconnecting lost relationships and a decreased feeling of isolation. But it also can bring over feelings of inadequacy, poor face-to-face communication skills, and in certain cases, a decrease in empathy.
And what you said that it's the user's responsibility to not be addicted to social media. Addiction isn't a choice; it's a disease. And this is no different. People can be addicted to a lot of things, and social media especially is no
Understood.
different.
But that if you're gonna say somebody is, like you said, addiction is a disease, that means we all have diseases.
You can be addicted
Yes.
to working.
We're all walking diseases, and
And you can treat
Because-
diseases. It's just you will never be able to completely eradicate
But
it.
it's not a choice. They don't have control over that. It's
I have control over when I put my phone away. When I'm not in the classroom or at work and stuff, I'm always on my phone. But if I know that I'm not supposed to be on my phone, I won't be on my phone.
well, that's I mean, that's great. That's you, but
You're
other
a professional.
people, other people don't have that. Other people don't have, or even adults. We talk about kids a lot, but even adults don't have that constant, I guess.
Self-control.
Yeah.
almost.
As an adult, you should have self-control, though.
Of
But
course.
going back to the children or adolescents being addicted to this stuff, it really goes as to how they were raised and what you're allowing them to do. If you're going to sit there and be on social media all day, your kid is not going to feel that they're doing the wrong thing. If you take your kid out and you make them physically do things and make them interact with people face to face, they might feel more comfortable with that, to the point that when they see their friends on the phone all day, they're going to be like, whoa, like, can you talk to me, stuff like that. So it all depends on.
Very
The
good point.
brought up.
Very good
We're
point.
gonna wrap.
Okay.
Does anyone
Unfortunately.
have any final points they just want to get out really quickly?
Follow us on Instagram at The Shade Room.
I'd like to say that social media is such a big part of our entire lives. It's never ever going to go away, and it's only becoming more popular. So we just need to have a better grasp on it and be more controlling of what we see and what we allow other people to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
And definitely on using the internet gives people platforms, especially terrorist groups. Like after 9/11, terrorist groups on the internet skyrocketed from 12 to today. It's 9,800 terrorist websites on the internet, and that's not even like the dark web. That is just the regular
Can we talk about
internet
that?
and social media.
All right. Does anyone from the audience have any questions for the panelists?
Okay.
Anybody, please?
So my question is for I think you're a child psychologist?
Me?
I'm not sure. Yes.
No, I'm just a regular psychologist.
Okay, regular psychologist. I know before there was social media, you still had magazines, you had news outlets, you had TV shows, and you were talking about how little girls, tend to shape their image over what they see on social media. But before that, they were still magazines with models on it. So I was just wondering what made you believe that social media is the main cause of what little girls are imaging themselves after, even though they were imaging themselves over something else before this.
I don't know if there's a main cause because it's just a bunch of little pieces, but there's obviously been a big spike since the 90s, obviously, with, like I said before, like the difference between an average girl and a model, their body percentage was 8%, and now it's 23%. And I think that has to do a lot with social media. And you said, I'm sorry, what was the rest of your question?
I don't know, I was just wondering what made you think that social media.
Oh, just because of the statistics, there's a spike in ever since the 90s, there's just been a spike, and I think that's all to do with social media. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I have a pretty good grasp because like it says 81% of the country uses some form of social media.
And I think Snapchat has made been a complete revolution because you can follow celebrities on their everyday path of life, what they do, their beauty routines, what photo shoots they're going to do. Like Kylie Jenner is constantly posting, she's like the first one all the time, and she's constantly like doing shots of her waist and of her breasts and of her ass, and like that's what our youth is seeing.
Our youth and also adults that want to look just like that and want to know what diet.
Right, but is that a
use.
positive?
It's
or
not
a
really.
negative?
I mean, people want to look how they want to look. Like if you're born a certain way and you don't like how you look and you have the money to go fix your body, nobody is to judge you on that. And Kylie Jenner's doctor is probably making a lot of money just because of Snapchat. Because a lot of people are contacting him now or she because of what the Kardashians now look like today.
I would
Any
just
other
say,
questions? Anyone else?
Nope.
Okay.
Neat.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.